Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to another exciting session for Employee Center Academy. We do these sessions every month on third Wednesday of a month. This is part of our Live on ServiceNow events series, and we are in the August session. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'm Smriti Gupta, Senior Outbound Product Manager with Unified Employee Experience Team. This is the team that manages Employee Center Pro, and related conversation integrations with Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and Now Mobile. Thank you so much for joining us today. Safe harbor notice. In case we talk about some forward-looking statements or roadmap items, please be cautious of making any decisions based on that information. Like I said, we do these sessions monthly. These are literally product deep dives on our features and capabilities. In the past, we have done several exciting and interesting sessions that most of you keep on demanding for a replay or a revisit again and again. We have done topics such as employee news, a dynamic topic microsites, experience and service feedback. And then we have also covered some of the process-related best practices and design techniques, or how to kind of optimize your OCM for your organization, and so on and so forth. You can revisit all of these sessions. These are available on our YouTube recordings and community. So we'll be sharing the link in the chat. Some housekeeping rules. So we are recording this presentation, and the presentation deck and the recording will be shared on community. The SLA is typically 7 to 10 days. So it's gonna take some time to upload it on community, but it will be available. So don't worry about recording anything or taking notes. Let's just focus on the content today. We have saved some time at the end for the Q&A, but we do have Q&A panel in the session. Please feel free to keep posting your questions. We have a lot of people in the panelists today to help you answer those questions. So in case if you want to just interact with us, drop in any feedback or comments, please feel free to leverage the chat panel. However, for any questions, we encourage you to post it on Q&A panel, because we won't be monitoring the chat for questions. At the end of the event, you'll be prompted for a short survey. The feedback that you provide in these short surveys help us kind of improve our further events. So please do take some time to provide your valuable feedback. So today's topic is browser extension for Employee Center. This is a very, very recent capability that we have launched with our July 2025 release. And we are super excited to introduce it in our Academy session today. We'll be going over the overview of browser extension, how to do the configurations from admin point of view. We'll be doing a live demo of the entire capability and providing some additional resources or best practices. In terms of panelists, we have a full house today. From product side, we have Sid and Ritu, who are the product owners for this particular capability. Then we are also joined by folks from our engineering team, the awesome people who have actually worked on this capability. So they would really help you answer and understand the capability in some technical depth. We have Venkat Reddy, who's the engineering manager, and then the engineering team includes Anirban, Vamshi, and Sangeeta. Thank you so much to all the panelists for joining today's call. Now, let's get started by understanding why exactly do we need browser extension. So just to take a step back and look at what our employees and admins are really experiencing today. From an employee's perspective, the experience is really very fragmented. They're constantly switching between ServiceNow and a dozen other third-party applications just to complete very basic tasks. And This is what we essentially call swivel chair experiences. That is, for them having to jump from window to window or tabs to tabs or from different applications to different applications. They are never really able to get the support that they need, and when they need it. So either they struggle to find the exact right support, or they are constantly in loop talking to support staff. What is even worse is once they are inside these apps, the guidance is pretty minimum. So there's no walkthrough or inline support, and the interface at times could be very clunky, or probably there's just a document or a PDF buried somewhere on the application. It creates a lot of unnecessary friction and reduces the overall productivity. And frankly, it just leaves a lot of users frustrated. When we talk about the admin side, things are not super easier there as well. There are a lot of different enterprise applications that they have to deal with and provide coherent, seamless workflows across all these different applications. Yes, integrations help to some extent, but not much, because building and maintaining these deep integrations across dozens of third-party applications, it's very time consuming and it's a super complicated process, and it's not very easy to scale. Even if the integrations exist, those apps don't kind of embed the kind of contextual support that the end users or employees need. So what are we trying to achieve here? For our employees, the goal is to reduce friction and make workflows smoother and provide support right inside the app that they are using, and build confidence by intuitive, more seamless, and guided experiences. And for admins, we want to kind of simplify the support delivery across all these different tools without needing integration every time they think about a third party application or an enterprise application. So extending the reach of ServiceNow while keeping it tight in terms of governance and keeping the overhead low. This is what we are trying to achieve. Now, let's introduce the browser extension for Employee Center. So just to address all the challenges or the friction points that we have just discussed, we are introducing browser extension for Employee Center. And this extension brings the Employee Center experience into third-party applications like Workday or Concur or Fidelity without the end users or employees having to switch tabs or leaving those pages. So it opens a lightweight and draggable pop-up, just like you can see on the screen. Suppose we have a sales and planning tool, and I am really struggling to kind of self-serve myself on that particular tool or application. I can have a draggable pop-up window, kind of like a miniature version of Employee Center, right on top of the existing application or website that I am working on. That is intuitive and context aware. So employees can access the tools and information right within the flow of their work. So I don't need to toggle between different systems just to find the link or look up help. And employees can get immediate access. And the content is very context aware or very relevant to whatever I'm working on. So there's no cognitive overload that typically happens if I have to switch between 2 or 3 or 10 different tabs. And just to be very clear, this is not a miniature version of Employee Center Portal that we are just pulling in and showcasing in a small tab. This is very context aware, or this is very site specific. So for example, if I'm on this sales planning tool, the resources that show up are going to be different than what I see if I am on a Workday site, for example. So it is tailored to the application that the employee is currently using. And it can recognize the URLs or the pages that the employees are in, and you can configure the experience for all the domains and subdomains and surface the right content. Also, there are a lot of other features like employees can check their notifications, they can search the knowledge base, they can stay updated by internal news and everything. So just before moving on to the next piece of it, I want to call out this capability is available for both Employee Center and Employee Center Pro users. So you don't need to worry about any licensing. Right. So talking about the home page or the home screen experience, on the homepage, we have provided a variety of out-of-the-box widgets that admins can configure to show context-specific resources tailored to each site or subdomain. So this includes key communications like announcements or content experiences, widget banners, essentially the actionable banners that you typically are used to seeing on Employee Center Pro homepage. And that can help keep employees informed without any extra effort on their part. So for example, if you want to communicate them about the benefits window or the taxation window, you can provide those communications or action items during the workflow. So if they are on workday, you can provide those communications during that workflow. That makes it easier for them to kind of remember what is the next key thing that they should be focusing their efforts on. And employees can also get quick access to featured knowledge articles and catalog requests. So we have the quick links widget where you can kind of feature all the featured or important knowledge articles or catalog items, making it simple and easier to find the help that they need. Then we also have popular topics and news and events widgets that can help you show the current application or whatever news articles or events are super relevant for them to consider, any important topic pages that you want to highlight upfront, relevant to their experience or the application or the workflow that they're in. It essentially helps employees stay up to date with whatever topic they are super interested in. Then employees can also see related apps. So if you have the app launcher configured, you can configure all the important applications that are important for them to consider, that could kind of point them to the right direction and smoothen their transition between different tools. And finally, just to allow organizations to kind of capture feedback um, on the overall extension experience, just like it is possible with the Employee Center Pro portal, we have provided the experience feedback widget. So employees can easily share the real-time feedback about the experience, and it could help you kind of design the experience more seamlessly. So if some link is broken or some information needs to be updated, your end users can provide that feedback right from the extension itself. Now, the Employee Center browser extension portal can be fully styled and themed to reflect your company's branding. So since this experience is delivered through a new portal called the Employee Center Browser Extension Portal, you can customize it just, sorry, wrong choice of word. You can configure it just like your main Employee Center portal. And this includes changing the title of the extension. So in place of ServiceNow, the first pointer that I've highlighted here, instead of this ServiceNow logo, you could add your own organizational logo. You could add or give your extension your own name, whatever name you have named your portal, you could align it as per that. Then we have a notifications bell icon. Notifications was delivered sometime early this year. So we have provided the bell icon right on the extension so that the end users or the employees can stay informed with whatever pending notifications they have. It can alert them to any unread or unseen messages, so they don't miss out on any important updates. And in case the employees need to navigate back to the entire Employee Center portal, we have provided a shortcut icon right on the extension header itself that can help employees navigate to the Employee Center portal conveniently. Then notification tray allows end users to kind of, if you click on the bell icon, it opens the notification tray and it kind of shows all the unseen, unread notifications. If you click on any of this notification, it opens the relevant page in the Employee Center portal in a new browser tab. So employees can continue working on whatever important task they were notified about without actually losing their current workflow. And the best part is we have a shortcut, like you can see on top of this extension screen. This kind of allows you to drag this extension to anywhere on the screen so that whatever content you are viewing or whatever work you are seeing, that does not get blocked. So you can optimize its position to anywhere on the screen just to continue working on seeing whatever content you're working on. All right. We have also provided a search bar within the browser extension that delivers the AI-powered search results instantly, very similar to how you see on your Employee Center portal. So if you kind of search for how do I add my beneficiaries, it will show all the catalog items and knowledge articles, and you can just go ahead and click on any of the knowledge article and continue your experience. Now, what happens if you are enabled for Now Assist, if you're a Now Assist customers? For customers with Now Assist, using the extension feels more like having a helpful conversation than just running a search. So instead of sifting through results, you can get an interactive and easy to use experience that delivers exactly what you need right inside the browser extension. So the Now Assist self-service or the enhanced chat functionality that we delivered sometime earlier this year, that we have made available within browser extension as well. So for example, if you're looking for how to add your beneficiaries, the Now Assist will uh, pull in all the existing content that it has from the portal, and it will put together a generated answer for you or a summarized answer for you. And it will also cite all the important and relevant sources from which it is generating this answer. So be it catalog items or knowledge articles, it will provide those links to you as well. And you can kind of get that self-service support in a conversational interface. So it's not just browser extension functionality that we have delivered with this release. We kind of have added certain other added advantages or added features with the extension that we are going to talk about. So we are providing something called the browser context menu. So while you are on any third-party application or enterprise application, you can simply highlight any text, right-click on it, and instantly search that particular text in Employee Center. That makes it easier and quicker to find exactly what you need. So for example, if you are filling out an expense report in Concur and you get stuck on a specific field, for example, business purpose, you don't exactly know what is the meaning or what is the purpose of this field. What should you be filling it out for? So you just highlight that text, right click, and search it in Employee Center to get the immediate help. I'm sure most of you would find it super cool, not having to kind of switch back to Employee Center and search all these different knowledge articles and stuff. Next important other features that we have delivered is Omnibox search. So with Omnibox search, you can just type your query right into the browser's address bar. No need to open the portal first. So if you suddenly wonder, how do I update my direct deposit information? You can start searching instantly and save your time, and you don't have to do a lot of clicks basically to do that search. And we also have operating system notifications on Mac and Windows. So any of the important updates can be popped up right on your screen. So it's kind of the browser-based push notifications. Even if you're not actively working on the Employee Center portal. So for example, there's a important task or an important approval waiting for you, you'll see it right away. So you don't miss out on anything. All right, let's look at the demo firsthand. So I'm just gonna reach. Sorry. Meanwhile, panelists said anything we should be pointing out from the Q&A panel.
Smriti, I think we are answering most of those questions. I will say that I will repeat the point that for the browser extension, you do not require a Now Assist license to use this. However, if you do have a Now Assist license, your search, you do have Now Assist available to you to, have that experience of search or search and chat combined. So again, just to repeat, this is available for all customers. You do not require Now Assist to use the browser extension.
Thank you, sir.
Also, one more thing, I'm getting we are getting a lot of questions along in the line key. Can we add more widgets or can we create our own search profile and customize everything? Yes, at the end of the day, it's a completely new portal. So if you want to have your own search profile, you can create your own search profile and add that to this portal. If you want to have other widgets, you can add the widgets in the page. But one thing you have to take care is, because it's an extension and it's not extensible, like the size cannot be modified, so you have to take care of the view and how that widgets, if you're using an existing ServiceNow widget, might be out of the box, it does not come with a mobile kind of view, so you have to take care of that. Or if it's a custom widget, you have to do all those things. And all the context that you are adding to the websites or something, like where it will take the data from, that also you have to take care how the widgets will be shown in the this thing. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's a portal, so you can customize the widget, customize the page, and you can make the portal as you wish.
Thank you so much, Anirban. That was a super important point to highlight. All right, on to the demo. Now, let's suppose I am on a third-party application called Fidelity. I'm still looking for the big news step here. I don't have a Fidelity account yet. I've just been pointed to this application through some external source, and I am really struggling to understand how do I open a Fidelity account or how do I check my vested RSUs. So thankfully, my organization has enabled the browser extension, and I can see a shortcut menu right up on top here. Or there's a floating action button here that I can see, right? I can drag it and move it elsewhere. But basically, once I click on this floating action button, it opens the extension, the browser extension that has been configured for the Fidelity homepage. So while I'm on this extension, I notice that I can see the communication right on top. My W2 window is approaching fast, and I should be thinking about my taxations also. So yeah, let me just figure that out later on. That's a very important nudge. Then moving on, I have few quick links featured right on top here. How to open a Fidelity account, a step-by-step guide. Let me just open this one, try to understand if it makes sense to me or not. So first I'll have to choose the right account type. So it's explaining all the important account types that Fidelity offers, like brokerage account or health savings account. So it's not just the information is available. I have all the details in form of knowledge article right here. I have all the important links highlighted here. I can navigate to any of the important links. I can continue reading this knowledge article, and it has kind of helped me a lot. So I will just move back to the home page, check out what the other resources are tagged for the Fidelity experience. Then I have some featured topics listed here that are important while I'm on Fidelity. For example, equity management, right? So whatever equity has been offered to me by my organization, I have a dedicated topic page to help me understand how to kind of manage all that equity. So I have some information here in form of rich content called Understanding Fidelity Net Benefits. It's explaining what this application is, what are the key features, like I can plan my equity compensation, I can plan for my retirement. It's offering the mobile app as well, all the important functionalities that I should be aware of. It's telling me how I can access the net benefit. So this is an important thing. This is what I was looking for exactly. I need to go to netbenefits.com site, right? And what I can do with the net benefit, so I can view my RSUs, I can sell my shares. All the important information is listed here. And let's say I was trying to understand what is the difference between fidelity.com and net benefit. So my organization has gladly put all the important FAQs as well. My RSUs appear in net benefits, but I can't sell them yet. Why? And I have the support number also tagged here. That's interesting. Now it's very typical to a topic page that you are very used to on the Employee Center portal as well. So you could see down below, we have the support resources, right? And you can see the articles, you can see catalog request, everything that is important for me about this topic page that's tagged here. I also have applications tagged here, right? I can also go ahead and tag any important videos for this topic page. So all of that information is readily available to me in context of whatever application I was working on. That's great. Next, coming back to the homepage, I also see news and events widget. So I have an important news article here. Let me just go and check that. So it's saying my RSU grant updates and Fidelity access. This the grant has been extended, right? They've expanded the eligibility. So I can read the important news that's there to be considered. If I like this news, I can just mark my response, comments or reactions, whatever. I can also browse other news articles, but let me just go back to my homepage. Suppose I'm I still want to understand my RSUs and the whole fidelity concept a little better. So my organization is organizing an event, and I have the upcoming event details, right? Understanding your RSUs with Fidelity, I can mark my attendance. I want to attend, right? I can see the details, what this exact event will be covering. Um, this event is going to explain me what are my RSUs and everything else, right? So I have marked my attendance. I'm definitely going to attend this event. Back to the home page. All the other related apps that I should be considering while I'm already on Fidelity. So that's a good thing. I really like this extension experience. It was overall good for me. What I would have liked would be a video, please. So I can add my feedback here. Please provide a video as well. And I can simply submit my feedback. On top, I also see the notification bell icon. If I click on it, I can see all my unread notifications. And if I click on any of this notification, it will direct me to the main Employee Center portal. For now, I'll just come back to the extension portal. There's also this shortcut that opens the Employee Center portal in a new tab. I don't want that. Let's suppose this extension is blocking some part of this view. So I can just drag it here and be done with it. So this is my entire experience. Now, let's say I move away from Fidelity, how the experience would look like. Let's say I'm on Workday, right? So I can again open Workday, open the extension in Workday, right? And I can see I have different quick links. I have all this different content. I have different topic pages mapped here. I see a different news article. I have different applications offered here, right? If I click on any topic page, all the information and content tag, these are very relevant to my Workday application or the HR application, right? It's talking about open enrollments, and it also has a guided topic tag called Know Your Benefits, all the request items that could help me navigate my journey while I'm on Workday application. Similarly, you could go ahead and configure your experience for all the different applications that your end users typically use. Now, what happens if they are on an application that your organization has not yet configured? For example, if I'm on this application that my organization has not yet configured on the extension experience, it will show me an empty state message, and you can just go ahead and configure this experience to show a different icon or a different message. It says Employee Hub does not have any site-specific resources for this website yet, or even you might be seeing a error message. So basically what the point I'm trying to highlight is you only see the extension in the sites that you're working on, the sites for which your organization has configured the experience. So I will take a short pause. Anything else that we should be highlighting or calling out from the demo before I move on to the slides back?
So, Smriti, I think for covering that, we did cover, and you're planning to get into it, like from a configuration perspective. I know we talked about how the extension can adapt to content on different sites. One thing I do want to point out for the audience is this may seem like manual work. Like, what if I have to associate content for a Workday or a Fidelity or a Concur? Now, we give you that flexibility where if you do not associate site specific, or if you associate site specific content, only that content shows up. You can even get down to sub pages as well, meaning if I want to show some different content on Fidelity slash retirement versus Fidelity slash stocks, it is left up to you. Or you could show the same content on any web pages on Fidelity. So we have those varying levels of um, call it, right? Like configurations available. So you don't really have to go in and say, well, here's the content for every page on Fidelity, and you could just use generic content. But then at the same time, the intent here is that you're trying to help the employees while they are on that site, like show them content relevant to that site rather than trying to embed your complete EC or EC Pro portal in there. So I just wanted to make that call out from a configuration perspective and how that content is coming in.
Thank you, Sid. Related to that call out, let's move on to the admin experience. I hope my screen is still showing the presenter mode.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. So like I've already called out, there's a separate portal that we are delivering with the browser extension. And you can go ahead and configure it just like your main Employee Center portal. And admins have full control over the browser extension experience. They can decide the theming. Like you see the screenshot, you can go ahead and tag any of the important pages, right? So we have the essential point to highlight is we have a separate portal called Browser Extension for Employee Center Portal, and you can configure it however you want. The configuration steps are very similar to what we have for the Employee Center Portal. We have just shipped a separate portal record in the portals table, and I will show that in the demo. So how you can go ahead and configure your site specific content is there's a different table that we are shipping, browser extension sites configuration. And you can go ahead and define your websites and subdomains where the extension will be active. You can choose what type of content to be displayed on each of these sites. So for example, in the screenshot, I am configuring Workday. I've defined my site URL, and I have also defined all the apps that I want to associate with this particular website. I can configure all the quick links that I want to show. I can configure the topics that I want to associate here. And also I can configure the employee communication content that I want to associate here. When it comes to Now Assist, it is important to kind of understand this one important step. To enable Now Assist conversation experience for your browser extension, you will need to add the browser extension portal in your Now Assist uh, virtual agent chat. So you would navigate to the conversation interfaces, assistants, and under the display experiences, you will need to add the browser extension. And also you will need to allow the checkbox that marks the search bar to open into full page chat experience. Once you do these steps, you'll be able to see the Now Assist conversation experience. Now, this is a super important and critical step. While you are configuring the browser extension experience, what you also need to do as admins are, or as enterprise admins, you need to configure the browser policies to enable the browser extension for Employee Center. We have only two supported browsers at this moment, Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge, and they have their own respective setup guides. These steps are also present on the product docs, and we'll be sure to share the link in the chat. So basically, this is the first step that you need to do as enterprise admins. You will need to set up browser policies for whatever browser your organization supports, be it Chrome or Microsoft Edge. What these browser policies are and how you can go ahead and configure these, we'll just go a little deeper into this. So while setting up these browser extension policies, these are the important ones that you should focus on. First is related to core connection settings. So you can set up your instance URL. So whatever your ServiceNow site URL is like, which that extension connects to, right? So this is where you kind of mention the exact instance on which you want the extension to work on. Next is you need to mention your browser extension portal ID. This is the unique ID for the extensions portal. So typically it is ECBE. Then we have the employee portal ID. That is kind of identifier for the portal, and it points to your main employee portal like service portal or employee service center. So essentially it points to ESC. Next is how you brand your extension. Two important things you can do is name your extension title. So whatever you want to name it, like ServiceNow browser extension for employee portal, essentially the name that shows in the browser toolbar, right? Then the extension icon, you can add your icon path to kind of brand your extension. Next is important feature controls. So you can enable notifications. It controls if users get browser alerts or not. the operating system based notifications, push notifications that we were talking about. And you can also enable the context menu. So the right click, highlight and right click and search in Employee Center feature that we were talking about. You can enable that. And finally, open search and browser extension. This decides whether search results open inside the extension portal, extension panel, or it opens in a new tab. Next is, and this is how you control on which domains your extension is going to work. And this is the important policy to configure before you even start thinking about all the other experience aspects of extension. This is the allowed sites policy. So this is the list of domain names where the extension will be active. For example, it could be Workday or Google or Salesforce. So the extension will work on any URL containing those domains. And if you are not mentioning your important domains in this policy, you won't be able to access the extension on those sites. So this is super important policy, super critical to consider. Next, we have the context menu title. So the text that users see when they right click on the selected text, that is the text that you can configure and change. Similarly, we have the context, we have the portal source title, right? So this is the label that shows when users choose to search directly in the employee portal. So for example, open search and employee portal, that clearly tells users what they are doing, right? Then we have few other policies in place to display the empty state settings. So if you remember from my demo, I displayed that the extension displays a empty state for websites on which the experience is not configured yet. So you can go ahead and configure all that title labels and messages and action labels and logo and whatever. Just taking a brief pause before I move on to the demo for admin configurations. Panelists, any important call out that I may have missed out here?
So, Smriti, one thing we want to call out is for this browser extension today, an admin, when you're configuring this, you have to say that I want this to work on certain sites, right? Whether this is Workday, Salesforce, Concur. So you have to specify the URLs. We had this discussion where some customers have asked us, can this work on all websites, right? Like if any user is browsing any website in the background, whether it's their news site or whether it is, let's say, whether they have YouTube in the background and so on. Now, if you look at the purpose that initially we are looking to solve is around getting help on other work-related apps. So right now, there is no way to make this work on all websites unless you've specified. So, there's the default page experience. However, we want to hear from you in terms of what are the kind of experiences you would look to all, like, if whether you would look to have this browser extension enabled on all sites, and if yes, what content would you like on those sites? For example, if I'm on YouTube, there may not be enough help content that this browser extension may offer. But then, is that a way for the employees to quickly get a notification that an approval is assigned and they can quickly complete it from the browser extension itself without having to go to portal? So we'd be interested to hear from you in terms of, do you see a need to have this working on all websites? And second is, what kind of content would you have if it did work on all websites? So anything beyond help related, what kind of content would you have? So I just wanted to highlight that, that has come up as a question in terms of which sites does this browser extension work on?
Thank you, Sid. I will just quickly move on to the demo for the admin experience. All right. So under portals, we have a separate portal called Employee Center Browser Extension. The URL suffix is ECBE, and you can just go ahead and open this. You can decide the theming, and you can kind of configure whatever experience you want to configure for this portal. So I just wanted to highlight that this is a separate portal in your portal records that you can go ahead. You can go ahead and tag your taxonomy, whatever active taxonomy you have, which you want to kind of pull in your portal. You can do that. Then we also have under Employee Center browser extension, we have something called browser extension sites. This is the place where you can configure the experience for all these different sites. So for example, if I open Workday site that I've already configured here, I can define the site name, I can define the site URL, and I can add my apps that I want to display on this particular site. I can define the quick links that I want to associate with this particular site. And then I can also tag my topics to be associated. And I can also associate my content. So this is the employee communications content that I can go ahead and associate. One important thing to note is, so I can either associate my content from this navigation path, or if I go to those respective records like applications, for example. So if I open any particular application, I will see a new related link here called associated websites. So I can go ahead and add my websites to this particular app. So for example, if I want to display ADP to 5 or 6 different websites, right, I can go ahead and configure that experience right from this application record itself. The same goes for employee communication. So I will just go to my content library, and I will just show a rich content that I have associated. Let's say a news article that I've published. So this is a news article that I have published. And in the published plan, I can go ahead and define the published plan as well. So I can just go ahead and add my published plan and choose the page ECBE Pro Home. I can choose the widget, news and events, and I can choose the websites. So for example, if I want to display it to Fidelity, right? This is how I can go ahead and define my publish plan and publish this content onto my extension portal. So for those of you who are familiar, this is very familiar to the regular employee communications publishing flow that we are very used to. In terms of browser policies, you would need the admin, your enterprise admin role to kind of go ahead and configure those browser policies. So I will just stop sharing here and move back to my slides. This was a very brief overview of how you could configure the experience for different sites as an admin. I'm sure you must have realized by now it is pretty easy and seamless, very similar to what we are used to for our employee center portals as well. In terms of additional guidance, I have a few important call outs here in form of FAQs. So right now, this is just reiterating important things that we have already worked through. So right now, this extension is only available for Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge, and you can go ahead as your admin to kind of configure the website experience for different websites. You'll need to curate whatever resources, topic pages, employee communications, applications, or quick links you want to display. And you can choose to display this extension experience only on some specific websites, right? We've already covered how to configure the experience. This can use the same SSO credentials like your Employee Center portal. So you'll need to be already logged in to your Employee Center to be able to see the extension. If not, it will prompt you to kind of log into the Employee Center portal. Yes, you can brand this extension as per your organizational branding. You do not need Now Assist license for the browser extension experience. However, the Now Assist conversational search experience that we demoed, for that, you kind of need the Now Assist license. Now, important thing, how do you make this browser extension available to all your users in the organization? So the enterprise admins will need to set the browser policies and do some basic configuration steps to kind of configure the overall experience. And then they can push it to all systems in their organization through their IT browser policies. And this extension experience is not available on mobile because typically the browser extensions are not available for mobile browsers. In terms of deployment guidance, this is backward compatible to N-2 releases, so it will be available to Xanadu, Yokohama, and Zurich family releases. It is available for all Employee Center customers, including Standard and Pro. There's a separate plugin that we have shipped called Browser Extension for Employee Center plugin, and the Employee Center plugin, the updated version 38.0.5. And we have 3 new roles that we have shipped with this capability. The Employee Center Browser Extension Admin, the Manager, and Contributor. So if you need to configure your sites, you would need all at least the admin or manager role to kind of configure the sites. And then enterprise admin role is required for setting the browser policies. So wrapping up, that was all for today's topic. If you're looking to join us in other events, we have office hours, both the Employee Center deployment office hours and the employee communications office hours. The deployment one, the next session is next week on 26th August. Please do join us in that session. Employee communications, we do every first Thursday of a month. So the next one is on September 4th. And we also have roadmap webinars towards the end of September tentatively. Hopefully this session was helpful. We do look forward to having you in the next session. The next topic is going to be company events. That's Employee Center Pro capability. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a good rest of your day.